Okay, let's see now our first organ system, which is the integumentary system. And the integumentary system includes the skin, the hair, nails, and the glands. Most of it is the skin, but also there are other kind of organs that falling within this integumentary system. Now, this system serves different functions. It protects from dehydration, from energy. It protects us against microorganisms. It regulates our body temperature. It makes vitamin D, and it provides sensation. So you might be like kind of surprised that the skin mainly and the other parts of integumentary system that performing all of these different functions. It's a very diverse and very really we think about the skin as important as you are going to see or just appreciate it from this list of functions. Now, what are the components of the skin? Skin is made out of two layers. The first one is something called epidermis. The second one is the dermis. Now, this epi, it means above. So the epidermis is the layer above the dermis. Okay? Now, beneath the dermis, there is a layer called hypodermis. Hypo is under. But technically, hypodermis is not part of the skin. So the only parts of the skins are the epidermis and the dermis. So what do we have here? For the outer layer, which is the epidermis, here we have stratified squamous epithelial cells. Okay, there is no blood vessels. Okay, and here we have two major types of cells. We are going to see them in the next slides. Whereas for the dermis, it's a dense connective tissue. Dense connective tissue, and it supports the epidermis, okay, and contains some collagen and elastic fibers. All of this within the epidermis, and it contains several types of cells. We are going to see them. Now, within the skin, there are other structures that we can call them accessory structures. They do several functions, and usually these structures are located within the dermis. What we are talking about the hair, for example. This is a structure. It has the shaft, which is the part above the epidermis, and it is located within something called the follicle. Okay, so this is the hair follicle. As you can see, this outer part is the hair follicle that keeps the hair inside. We have also smooth muscles. These attach to the hair follicle, and usually they are responsible for raising the hairs up upright position. They are responsible for the goosebump, when you are cold. We have also different types of glands. We have sebaceous glands, which are these surrounding the hair. These are responsible for producing sebum, which is something going to moisten and soften the hair. Okay, so it's kind of oil, okay, that would moisten and soften the hair. We have also sweaty glands, like these. These are sweaty glands to produce sweat that is going to cool our body off, as we saw earlier. We have also blood vessels. These blood vessels that bring nutrients to the skin and take wastes. Also, we have different types of nerve supplies, receptors, receptors and nerve supplies. All of these yellow lines, all of them are nerve supplies. Okay, all of these are nerve supplies that they are connected to the receptors. These receptors are responsible for sensing different things like pressure, soft touch, temperature, and so on. And these, of course, part of the nervous system, and they are connected to these nerves, which are going to take the impulses to the command center. Also, we have in the hypodermis, we have the adipose tissue or the fat tissue. All of this are within a section of our skin. But again, the hypodermis, just remember, it's not part of the skin. Now, this fat tissue is beneath the skin. Next, let's talk now about two types of cells in the epidermis. We have the keratinocytes. These are producing something called keratin, which is a waterproof protein. And the other thing, we have melanocytes, which provide dark pigment called melanin. So these are the keratinocytes. These are the keratinocytes. Okay, so these are the keratinocytes. These are the melanocytes. These are the cells producing melanin. And these are the keratinocytes, which are going to pick up the melanin. Okay, and these are within the epidermis. Within the epidermis. Now, as you can see, the epidermis itself is made out of several layers of cells. These are continuously generated and renewed. And as they are moving up, they will get filled with keratin, which would play an important role in protection and preventing water loss and heat loss. So these cells are moving from here to here all the way up. As they are moving up, they will become dead. And that is the part of our skin that we are seeing in each other. It's technically, it's dead skin, dead cells. The journey from here to here, it will take around 45 days. Okay, yeah, around 45 days, 25 to 45 days. So technically we are changing our skin every month and a half, like around 6 weeks. And again, as we are moving up, the cells would be filled with keratin. Melanocytes, they are producing the melanin, and the melanin is responsible for our skin color. So darker skin people, they have more melanin in their skin comparing to lighter skinned people. However, both types of people, they will have the same number of melanocytes. So all of us have the same number of melanocytes, but these melanocytes, they express or produce different amount of melanin, and that's why we have different skin color. In the dermis, we have fibroblasts, we have mast cells, we have white blood cells, we have fat cells. All of these cells are located within the dermis. The dermis technically is a connective tissue, whereas the epidermis, it was epithelial tissue. So we have two different types of tissues here. Remember, this is stratified squamous cells, whereas here it's mostly dense connective tissue. It has collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and it has different types of cells. And we talked about these accessory structures. Yep, I think I covered these when I explained them on the image. So I believe I'm done. Please post your questions and videos, comments on the forum. and we can talk more when we meet. Also try to answer each other question, and see you soon.